to lose. They thought I was going to get crushed. Guess what the vote was? Every person who voted that I was right. It was 100% vote. Now, the lawyers, the executive, they abstained. They didn't vote for me, but the argument was so persuasive that even her own people couldn't vote for her because I had the power to stand up and be persuasive. Guess what? They never give me the mic anymore. I've done that a lot of times. All right? So can you, because you caught something. Now, I said it a little different, but you caught exactly right. It can be abused. It will be abused if you're not ever vigilant. I will become a tyrant if you give me all the power, because I'm human. I don't think anybody can handle all the power. So let's stop putting people at the executive directors of groups and then leaving them there for life. Let's pull them back down. The Greeks used to have a, I think that's where the word banishment comes from. The Greeks used to kick a guy out of town for a few years, you know, because he was getting too popular. You know, that was a kind of an interesting one. Yes, sir.
I thought I heard you say that the common cause would be fixing the republic.
Yes.
And my question is, what percentage of people do you think are aware that the republic is broken? Number one. Number two, if whatever that percentage is, I don't, you know, what issue or issues do you think that they see when they say, well, the republic is broken? What are, I mean, I could probably name, you know, dozens of them. What do you think is commonly known? And I guess the third thing would be, if it's not commonly known, or even if it is what would be the best thing that's broken to focus on that would be most accessible and most easy to convince people?
For example, Bush violating the Constitution in the way the war was proclaimed. If I was a congressman, I would have voted to go to Iraq because I believe the strong should protect the weak. That's me. Okay? If I was a congressman, and guess what? Congress has the power to declare war. I would have declared war. I would have voted for that. I could care less about weapons of mass destruction. All I knew is he was gassing. He was a Hitler, and we could have done a little better of the after war part. But
they
Bush...
start people in Waco, too.
Yeah. Well, the point was, they didn't follow the Constitution, so I would oppose. You see what I'm saying? And so, for example, a few years back, they used to take House votes in secret and then take floor votes the opposite so they could get a better voting record. Okay? But the most important vote was the one happening in secret. Well, everybody kind of found out about it. It got exposed. Washington switchboard lit up and they were forced to change. That's purely a form of a republic issue. It's a parliamentary question. People can understand these things. It's about cheating, telling others to shut up. So when you're educating and promoting, if these are your goals, you can form the greatest unity. Everybody has a sense something's wrong. Okay? And so we have to focus it. This lecture that we had is a good example. The rule of law, most people don't really know what that means. It's very educational. But it's also too esoteric for mass production right now. But at every one of our groups, we should have speakers like that, constantly educating us on forms of republic, how it should look. Start to expose something that nobody really, they know it's something wrong with it, like the seniority system. What a joke. What a joke. The guy that's been there the longest is going to have the most experience and the greatest persuasive ability. That should be his advantage. He shouldn't get twice the budget for a staff. He shouldn't have control over the committees. You see what I'm saying? And everything is rigged. And so if you teach people this is part of the problem, because everybody doesn't like the idea of backroom deals, lobbyists, all these things. So everybody in America is aware something's wrong, and they're acutely aware with the banking failure, because that's all insider corruption. That's all that plunder, and we're all sort of aware of it. We have to focus as we're expanding. Right now, we just got to get the core group to unify, to accept a plan, to have a discipline to the plan, and then start to develop tactics that show others this is good stuff, this is plausible. And all of a sudden you'll have this magnetism, I suppose, that draws others. And like I said, it's really powerful stuff, but you gotta have to get on board with it, you know. And your own experience, when you focus on just normal issues like gun rights or abortion rights or gay rights or whatever rights that are out there, or financing or honest money, gold, when you focus on those, you can never seem to get that majority. You go, ugh, you know. Now every now and then a small group does. Like I said, I mentioned Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Pretty effective. You know, went from the lowest level to the highest and got it done. And now you got all these DWI laws that are really pretty tough on people. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, okay, so you talked about basically we can keep them out of running in the primary. Do we have to do that
Well, that's
while they're an incumbent, or the executive committee never actually met to like say, yes, I approve, you know, in my case, Bill Fay, and the other guy who ran against him, you know.
Well, let's not focus on an in-game strategy. In other words, right now, kicking somebody out sounds real tasty, you know, because you can already think of somebody you want to kick out. All right, that is not the focus of my attention. What I'm trying to say, it's accountability. First, accountability is to our own leaders. We form, we start holding each other accountable to the deliberative process, which means everything takes longer. It's kind of a pain. At the lower levels, fortunately, you know, it's kind of tolerable to let strong leaders just guide stuff for a little bit till you get going. Internal discipline first. As you know what you're doing, you mature, you maturate, till you start taking on larger segments of your caucus, which would include elected officials. And you can, I'm saying the power, what's novel, what you're hearing for the first time, is that you have the power. What the young lady here pointed out, and what you're kind of pointing out, is that power can be abused. Yeah, this is dangerous stuff. This is one of the reasons I'm not very popular in the Republican Party. Because they know what I'm up to, and they know it's constitutional. Therefore, it's dangerous. Yes, sir. Did you have another question? Okay. Well, we've run out of time. We had the room till 9:30. We've got maybe one more question. We got to wrap it up. Anybody? Perfect. Yeah. Those brave souls who asked a lot of questions, they get a